minded. It's like a lot of people don't like it. Don't get me wrong, it's scary as fuck trying to like just do what you want to do and like either putting the rest of your life on hold or just taking that leap. It's very intimidating, but like when you take all of those factors away and just think like life's short, okay? I mean, it's long, but it's short at the same time. It goes by like that. So if you're not constantly like doing what you want to do or trying to do what you want to do, you're gonna live a life full of regret when you're older. And I've always been huge on having no regrets, because in the moment, if you think about it, in the moment, that's exactly what you wanted at that point in time. So how can you say you regret it? You know, even if it didn't work out in your favor, that is exactly what you wanted in that period of time, and you did it. So it's like you can't dwell on that.
And I think decision making is like, it's not talked about, but I feel like decision making is a skill that you have to like learn through experience, but then also like your mindset. Like, and until you put yourself out there, you're never gonna, because dude, we've made so many fucking mistakes.
Oh fuck yeah.
Especially even since we started this, but it's like, okay, we learned, we got to fix that, we got to do this, and you just never know what's gonna come from stuff like, you know, like you just don't know.
This one quote couldn't be like more accurate, and it's like, it doesn't matter how hard you get hit, it's about how hard you get hit and get up. I fucked that quote up a little bit there, but it's I fucked it up a bit, but it's like, you know, you can take as many blows as you can, as severe as it is, but like how you handle it is what defines you. If you just sit there and you start dwelling on it and you start being like, fuck this, fuck that, fuck this, you know, that's what you're gonna attract. So it's like, you know,
that's why like even I heard it a while ago, but it was just this quote. It was like, life comes from you and not at you, and until you realize that, you'll never actually truly live. Where it's like, dude, hardships and situations are just inevitable. Like, you're gonna go through shit. Like, you're gonna go through stress. Even we're learning that like right now. We're stuff out of our control, but we feel like responsible for it, and it's just, and you have to learn how to deal with it.
And here's another thing: if you constantly are thinking, oh no, happiness is gonna be there, you're sadly mistaken, because it won't. It doesn't matter if you move to a certain city thinking, okay, I'm gonna be happy when I get there. You won't be. You have to be happy with where you're at, find happiness in what you're doing and wherever you are in that current situation, and then build off of that. Because if you're just like, fuck this, my hometown sucks, it'll be way better if I move here, your problems are gonna follow you there. You're still gonna run into the same kind of trouble. You have to learn how to deal with that and find happiness within that before you can do anything else. And then once you're happy with that, life only gets up from there. And then my buddy Ryan, who we were talking about earlier, he heard this quote from one of his mentors, and it honestly stuck with me before, and I've said this before on a live, but once you start thinking, okay, this didn't happen to me, this happened for me, your mindset changes completely, and you will be a hell of a lot happier, because you will find a way easier time on looking at the bright side rather than dwelling on what just happened. Because it's like, you know, you can have some really negative shit happen to you, but it's like, don't think of it, oh fuck, this happened to me. It's like, this happened for me, and you gotta look on the bright side, because every bad thing that happens, a better thing comes afterwards. So it's like, you can't take it too hard on yourself. Or
just don't take yourself so seriously.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm even still learning, is like, you have to be able to fucking sit and laugh at yourself.
Oh, and if you can't laugh at yourself, you're gonna have an extremely miserable life.
Because it's like, if you're confident and you know who you are, it's like, you don't give a fuck.
Exactly. And swallow your goddamn ego, because ego gets you nowhere. You're just gonna look like a tool or a douchebag, and that's what you're gonna attract. A bunch of tools and douchebags, and that's just how it is. I mean, like, even traveling, we could have easily just held our shoulders up doing like, yeah, this is what's got us here, like, fuck you guys. But it's like, you know, that's what you're gonna attract, is negative shit around you. And we've been nothing but positive and like open to everything, and we've met some incredible people and had some incredible experiences because of that reason alone.
And like somebody said earlier, they were like, oh, would you ever think you'd be in Hawaii, or like talking on a live and like reminiscing about success. It's like we don't really do that because it's like we view it more as validation, like okay, we're in the right direction, but I can probably speak for both of us where it's like we don't really view ourselves as successful yet just because we see where we want to go. Like if our sights were set on just like
where we're at, we would have been just like, you know, just tearing it up. And I mean, like, we don't get us wrong, you can see us clearly having our fun, but it's like we're just thoroughly enjoying our moments because personally I learned years ago where it's like before anything else happens, you have to be happy in your current situation, and then if something good happens, it's just going to amplify it. And that was like for myself personally, I was happy doing landscaping. You know, I liked the shit that I did. I said this in the video. I liked the shit that I did. I loved the work that I was doing. I loved my coworkers. I was content at the time. But then doing this, what we're doing now, it just amplified it. And like you guys have said it, you can see it for yourselves. My mood, everything has changed drastically since doing so. And that's solely because I was happy before the fact, and this just amplified it.
But I feel like even, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, if you were taken out of that, if you were still landscaping every day, because before we left, I felt like you were almost at a point of like burning out.
At what, like on like, social media?
Yeah.
100%. I can 100% agree with that. I was on the cusp of burning out, and it was extremely... Not only was it physically exhausting, but mentally, because I didn't have to just worry about what was going on in the day and planning for what was happening the next day. But it was also thinking about the content that I was doing, the lives that I was doing, holding conversation. And then, you know, just freeing up that space really just kind of exploded my inner self, if you could say. Like, it's changed the game.
And even, like, I remember when we had a conversation when we kind of realized lives were sort of, in Vancouver, becoming, like, a thing. I was like, oh, we need a schedule for lives to do this. And you were just like, there's probably 2 times where you've come back with, like, your opinion on something that I brought up. And one of them was like, bro, I can't because then it'll feel like work. Yeah. And I won't enjoy it as much. Exactly, and I didn't say anything. And then I thought about it. And I'm like, fuck, you're right. Like
you have to enjoy it. Yeah. And it's like, it's still work. Like, don't get us wrong. It's still work. It's still mentally exhausting. But it's like, you have to, like, you can't take it to the point where it's like you're absolutely burning yourself out and you're just stressing out, because it's like, that's going to take away the fun in it, and the results are going to show. Like, that's when you're going to start seeing the decline and shit. Yeah. When you don't force it and you just keep going with the flow, that's when your best results are going to come.
We enjoy what we do, and it's also just, but like off camera, it's like, and I don't like to talk up about what we do, but it's like we work like motherfuckers. Like it's like there's always something, whether it's like we have to have a conversation about this, we gotta have, like for me, it's like phone calls most of the fucking day just trying to put shit together. Like it's like lives is kind of us just unwinding because we
we enjoyed doing the lives. Like it's like coming on here and talking to you guys is great. Like we wouldn't stay on lives for as long as we do if we didn't enjoy it, you know what I mean? And it's like we just genuinely enjoy coming on here and having conversation with you. And then Vanessa, to elaborate on that, this also comes from our core group. You know, you guys have seen a lot of life experience. You guys have been through a lot of the shit that we're going through, so it's very easy for you guys to tell when there's bullshit, you know. And that's always been my biggest thing, is being 100% genuine and 100% myself, because it's like I know you guys would see through the bullshit, and that's just not what I'm about. Like I'm just like I've said this long ago, even when this was just starting. If you can't make it on being yourself, you shouldn't make it. And I'm not saying I made it. I'm definitely not saying I've made it. I'm just saying you're not going to enjoy it yourself if you have to constantly put up an act. And people see through that bullshit. Like I've seen like multiple videos And it's just like, even myself, I can see it, and I'm like, if I can see it, everybody else can see it, except for the very, very naive people. And it's just like, that's just not what we're about. We're about the genuine and positive vibes, and that's just who we are.
Yeah. And it's just even on the note of like, even because I've had it where people are like, oh, like, how do you do this and this, but then you guys are up on live drinking? It's just like,
because our focus is there.
Focus is there. So it's like, when I wake up,
what we have to do.
When I wake up and I know that I have like 5 things I have to get done that day, it's like that just stays in my brain where it's like, all right, I got to get up, and as shitty as it may feel at first, it's like, we got to do it, because if we want to do this, then we have to do that. And that's what kind of propels and like keeps us having a fucking engine.
And that's why at night you see us thoroughly enjoying ourselves. We may drink, we may party, we may have just good vibes, but it's like, because you all know the feeling when you get your shit done during the day, you feel so much better mentally. So much better. And that's when you can finally relax and be like, okay, like, let's have some fun, you know?
And it's also like, we wouldn't be doing that if we didn't get our shit done. Like, if we didn't go out and do something during the day, get content, if we didn't have like X, Y, Z done for the day, we wouldn't be fucking doing it. Or if it like really took a negative effect on us where it affected our work ethic or affected getting the shit done,
we cut it out.
We cut it out. Like, we wouldn't do it. But it's also because we treat this as like a business where it's like, when you go on lives, it's like, that's the easiest way to get new followers or new people coming on and shit like that.
Like piquing interest into new groups, new people. And you guys are shotting me my line exactly. But it's like, to back it, fuck, I lost my train of thought, son of a bitch. Give me a sec, I'll think of it. But it's like, it's very evident. And you know, just look at the progression from our first website and our first merch release. The progression on that in just a few months alone has been exponential. Like, to the point where it's like, you look at the website and how everything's presented, the quality of everything, and you'd be like, okay, like, these boys have done this shit before, where it's like, we haven't. But we put in the work, especially Kuhn, Caden, Chris, Kara, everybody. We all put in the work to bring it to that next level, and it speaks. Yeah, Alicia, from the first live, I used to have to fucking, or have something in my hand, fiddling with it, and just the level of comfort that's grown is like, I used to not even eat in front of you guys because it just felt so awkward to me. And it's just like, and Liv, exactly, like, it's not, we posted it on her story the one time, and it was like, you know, like, if it was as easy as people think it is, everybody would be doing it. You know, it takes some serious work and dedication to actually build a community and keep it solidified for as long as we have, and to keep the vibes as positive as they have been, with as minimal drama as possible. Which I've always loved, like, about the group. We've never had serious drama within the group, which is phenomenal. Like, to have 1.8 thousand people in a Facebook group and like little to no bullshit is extremely heartwarming, and it shows the amount of respect that is shared mutually within everybody, which is phenomenal.
And like,
phenomenal.
I would say, like, probably when 1 or 2 situations of bullshit came up, I felt like it was known how to deal with it.
Yeah, like, we spoke on it right away. We mentioned it once, and everything was cut off. It was just like, boom, everybody dropped their shit, and it's been great, you know, like,
but...
And everybody supports themselves, which is great too. Like, you guys within the group, you pump each other up, you pump each other's businesses, you guys encourage each other, you show support, love, prayers, everything when they're needed, which is heartwarming for me, especially because it's like, you know, when the group first came out, and I'm not trying to suck my own tip, but everything was drawn towards me. Everything that was posted on that group was posted towards me, but now it's been elaborated where it's like, you guys are sharing each other's businesses, you're going more into depth with your personal life, you're sharing more.
And like,
you guys are loving each other more. Oh my god,
that.
so many, which is insane. Like, it's not just like, it's like statewide, worldwide almost. Like we have people from all over the place.
Look at like the IG story Kaden made the other day, saying like,
where are you from? There is multiple people from like globally, which is crazy. So to have all of that unite is fucking crazy shit. It is a large family. Yeah, the drama gets shut down immediately because I've never been one for that, and it's just like, it's not needed. We're not in high school anymore, you know what I mean? It's not high school. We're all beyond that fact. It is what it is.
And at the end of the day, like, who fucking needs that shit, you know? Like,
No, exactly. Nobody needs that shit. Like, fuck. Wendy, Becca, yeah. I mean, like, even if you just got Facebook just to join the group, I think you guys would be drawn into it. Like, there's a lot of good shit that goes on in the group. Vanessa, I can even speak for myself on that front. I didn't expect for that to happen either. You know, when I first joined the group and when it was brought to my attention that it was made, I think there was only about 400 to 500 people in there. And we've grown it to 1.8 thousand people. And on Facebook, that's good shit, you know, like that was a quick growth. And like I said before, it's drama free. It's all love, all support, which is phenomenal.
and it's also just like, not to speak on my shit, but dude, I never post on social media.
Never.
And then when I log into Facebook and someone's like, when Francine's like, oh, like, I want to start a group, I'm like, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, there's like 400 people, and I'm just like, that's fucking crazy to me.
That's what I mean. It's insane. Like, you feel a different level of love, for sure. Something that I never thought would have been possible. But it's been great. It's been a great ride. Thoroughly enjoyed myself. I want to see you true. I fucked that one up. That's a drink. I was in there then. Yeah, you were. Absolutely. A lot of you guys were. You guys have been there from right from the start. And, you know, I couldn't thank you guys enough for all the support. Like I said earlier, I'm forever grateful for what you guys have been able to make happen for us. And, yeah. He did take it. I mean, Kuhn definitely has the personality behind him where he can be an entertainer, but like he's also got the business aspect and the brains behind it, which is phenomenal. And like Kuhn was always very hesitant on him posting even at the start, and I just kept encouraging it. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
keep doing it because it brings in a whole other element.
Well, that's like,
You offer something that I cannot.
and that's why I was just like, dude, like, I remember that. And I was like, it's not my do, that's not why I'm here. But then you're like, no, like, bro, do it. Because you do something different than what I do. And I was like, fuck, I guess it makes sense.
It does, because
It
I can't do what you can do. So it's like you hit it from two different sides, which is out, like, it's good shit.
And also on that note, not to be the fucking Debbie Downer, it's just I've had like 2 or 3 messages, and I'm saying this with all due fucking respect. All due respect. Please do not message asking about like free merch and like not being able to. We totally respect that like people may not have the income to pay for stuff, and we made it very clear like that's support is not shown just by purchasing merch and stuff like that. It's shown by coming in lives, commenting on Alex's stuff, engaging with it. But like you have to understand, like money in comes money out, so it's like we pay for that stuff. So for us to just, you know, like we're not a charity. Wendy just said that, and I'm just making it, if it was only one person I wouldn't even mention it, but I've had a couple of messages, and as much as we'd love to do that, we just can't. Like we do
We're not at that point.
We're not at that point, and like we do giveaways, probably like we do a lot of giveaways to give back and show you guys how much your support is like means to us, but it's like at the end of the day, it's like we just can't do that because then we're losing.
And this is
money.
this is what's helping us do what we're doing right now.
That's
shit.
it. It's lit. Yeah. So yeah, I was gonna say that earlier, but I was hesitant, and then it just, I don't know.
We're doing the best that we can with the resources and funds that we have possible right now.
Because that's what
We're still building.
Yeah.
We're still in that build phase. We're not like, we're a brand, but we're still building that brand. You know, it's like, it's not at that point where it's like it's concrete. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like one bad move could sewer us. Like that could cost us. Like one mess up could cost us because we constantly just put it into traveling, put it into bringing on people to make us better. Like it's like we're not.
Oh motherfucker!
You know,
I made a gaper.
Oh, not all Debbies are downers. No, I know.
Debbie!
No, we love you. I was just, you know what I mean.
Oh fuck! I fucked this whole raid up.
But yeah, it's just like we can't justify that. Oh, dude, that was crazy, bro.
Can flip.
Yeah.
Can flip. Whoa, my voice went fucking weird there. Guys, this is gonna be a sloppy one. I can tell you that one right now from the start. Here we go.
I'm waiting for you because I've heard before that I jumped the gun on shotgun, so I'm waiting for you. Oh my god. Dear Lord.
I spilled a bit. Oh goodness gracious.
Would you be down for a little Q&A?
Yeah, let's do it.
Honestly. 10 o'clock. I caught a second wind. I was ready for bed. I was in there watching a YouTube video about the metaverse.
I gotta take a leak and then... Guys, if you want to send in questions for us to answer, put them in the question box and we'll scroll through them. We'll answer your questions.
Yeah. Yeah, questions about anything. Fuck, let's make it interesting. I'll do anything. Jesus.
We're both feeling great today. Thank you, thank you.
Better now.
Okay, I'm gonna answer this one. Do I get tired of will questions? Okay, it's not... I don't get tired of will questions, but here's my stance on this, okay? This is my thing, okay? When people reach out to me to pass on messages to Will, I'm not going to respond to that. Because one, Will's got enough on his plate already. Two, you know, if it was in my shoes and people were reaching out to pass on like, That's not the way to go about things. You know, if Will's going to answer your questions, he's going to answer them himself. So I'm not going to speak on Will's behalf, sorry. But as well as that, you know, I'm just, you know, like I'm trying to do what I'm doing. Will's doing what he's doing. We love each other. We support each other to the utmost, like.
And I think the comparisons
as much as we can.
You two are in way
stop,
separate lanes.
Stop comparing us. Neither of us like it. You know, we're not for that. We're not competing with each other at all by any means. And I'm not your messenger. Okay, I understand you want to get a message across to Will, but you know, it's not my place to pass on that message. I'm doing my own. I have enough things to worry about myself. Will's got enough on his plate, and that's just not the way to go about it. I just won't answer your message straight up. I won't, because you know, that's just it. Like, it's not my place to speak on anything about Will's life, as it's not his place to speak on anything with mine, and he doesn't do it. I'm not going to do it, and it just gets annoying to the point, like, and I'm not trying to be an asshole, but it's like, that kind of stuff does get annoying, absolutely. I'm all for, like, answering, you know, little questions here and there, whether we still talk, this and that. Understandable. I understand you want to know how our relationship's still going. And I can tell you it's still fantastic. We have not lost touch. We talk every day. But I'm not going to pass on your message by you sending it to me, asking to send it to Will. I'm not going to do it.
Shit's corny.
It's just, that's not the way you go about things. I'm sorry. But, like, when, you know, you're concerned about him, I already know that kind of stuff. You don't have to bring that to my attention. I already know. If anything, like, I'm already on top of it before you get, like, I'm there for him. I show him utmost support, everything. We have great talks, but that's not the way to go about it. And that's that. But I'm not, you know, I never bring that up. I never bring that up, but that's my view on it. I'm just not going to do it.
And I think, like, on the comparison side, it makes no fucking sense anymore.
It doesn't. Like, we're not competing with each other. No. We're in two different lanes. He's trying to do his own thing. I'm doing my own thing. And
the respect is always there.
Yeah.
Like, the respect is always paid where it's due. And it's just, like, I can speak because I see you firsthand and, like, that relationship. So it's just, like, it's nonsense. And I feel like sometimes it just sets shit that isn't even there to begin with up. So that's the extent of stuff I can speak on.
We don't like to compare next to each other because it's like, looks like you can't swim. Oh my God, I need some water wings, baby. Give me them water wings.
Yeah, Harmony, can you teach us how to swim, please?
But yeah, guys, that's that, you know.
Next question.
What was your first job?
Oh my God, this is a good one on my end. Holy shit.
I worked at Wendy's. That was my first job. I worked the drive-thru, I worked the grill, I worked front. I did everything except for sandwiches because...
Alex from Wendy's.
I'm Alex from Wendy's, you know? But, yeah.
Oh, fuck.
All right, Kuhn.
Dude, okay. So, I literally, in grade 10, I got hired at our local pharmacy to be cashier. And I was probably the reason I got hired was solely because the owner just really liked me and he liked how engaging I was with customers. But I fucking was a moron, like, from the get. Like, I would miss shifts because I forgot, because I just didn't care. Like, I just, as bad as it sounds, like, I just wouldn't care. And Shinkle actually worked at the same job, and I remember Shinkle was like, dude, he's like, everybody knows we're like one of each other's best friends, and he's like, you're making me look bad, because he's like, dude, you don't show up sometimes, and he's like, when you come, all I cared about was, like, I loved counting the till, like, closing the till. I loved that shit, and then I loved talking to the customers, and that was it.
Yeah.
And they would rotate me around they wouldn't fire me, and I would try to get fired, and then I quit because I made a very lucky calculated bet when I was in grade 10 that allowed me to kind of fucking not need a job right away. And
Props
I quit
to you
it
for that, because you killed that shit.
That was like, that's the only reason.
I remember chilling with you in the library on your spare and on my spare, and it was like, that's when I started thinking, I'm like, yo, this guy is fucking... Yeah. I mean, that's not when I started, but that's when I, like, it really solidified. I'm like...
Yeah. I got really lucky with
guy's fucking
investing in Bitcoin super early, and it paid out, and then I was like, I don't need a fucking job. So then it kind of just, like, allowed me to fast track. But yeah, essentially my job was a fucking cashier at a pharmacy, and I should have got fired, and I didn't. I don't know how I didn't, but I didn't. Shout out to Donnie Edwards, though.
Whoops.
Ooh.
This is a very good question, okay? Growing up with sisters, you know, I've lived in a household for multiple years now. I'd say going on 5 to 6 years, probably around that, where I lived in a house where it was my mom and my sister. And, you know, that's just, you know, it's me and then 2 women. So you learn a lot. You learn how to treat women properly. You know how to, like, how they react to certain situations, and you know, it's just like you just learn how to not behave, but it's like, you know how to, like, handle certain things where it's like, you know what's inappropriate, you know what's not inappropriate, and it's very evident who did not have that same situation or who did not have multiple sisters. Those usually end up being the douchiest of guys. And you learn how to, yeah, like, you just see the whole other side of every situation. You get to, like, experience their mindset and what goes through their head, how they react to everything, and you know, you just learn how to, like, go about different situations. It's a very hard thing to just, like, describe, but it's like you just learn how to, like, act. And I'm not saying act, I'm just saying, like, you know where, yeah, exactly, you know your boundaries, exactly. And it's like it gives you a whole other perspective on female. Yeah, Wendy, perfect. What can be hurtful, what cannot. Emotional aspects, Rachel, absolutely. Like, you just see the whole other side of things other than just from a guy's point of view, because guys and girls definitely think very, very differently, and they react very, very differently. So you just learn everything about that.
And I even, like, as you guys know, I have 3 sisters, obviously. That influences how you're brought up, aka my music shit, you know. That's the only reason that I know Taylor Swift and random songs, exactly. But I think also because I had 2 older sisters, and I saw my oldest sister go through a really shitty relationship at a young age, and I saw the effect that it had on, like, not just her, but also, like, the family, and it kind of, like, made me realize what your actions do. And it's like, you kind of just see it, as you said, like, you see insight into, like, the other side. You see firsthand on whatever decisions you make or whatever actions you do, what impact it has on a female. Yeah. Because as a guy, if I was raised in a strict, like, brother situation, you don't see that side of things. You just continue to think, oh, like, whatever, you're in your own vibe. But when you grow up with sisters in a strict female household, anything, like, you learn firsthand on your actions, and it honestly, that's what matures you. And it even, like, on the side, because I could probably speak, like, to us, like, we have good relationships with, like, our father figures and stuff, but, like, our moms are, like, we're mama's boys, straight up, big time. So I also found, like, having 2 older sisters also made me, like, super protective, which I had to learn how to kind of deal with, because, like, there was a point probably about 2 years ago where I was super close to like getting into it with one of my sister's boyfriends at the time, because I just saw his actions, I saw how she treated, and I just didn't stand for it. And it's like I have to learn how to sometimes like compartmentalize that protection and realize that that comes from having 4 women in my life that I like would die for.
Oh, 100%.
So it's just, and you like,
and I can speak the same. Like it's like I've made it clear to Autumn as well as to Caitlin, any boy gives you trouble, I don't give a fuck about their age. I will come for you. Okay? If for Caitlin, for example, she's significantly younger than I am. She's 8 years younger than I am. If I were to like, I'm not gonna do anything physically, but I'm strong enough with my mental aspect and my words where I will fucking set it in stone where you will like, I will come for you.
Well, even
I will come for. I do not give a even for my mom. If you treat my mom wrong, I will fucking come for you. And like I'm not an aggressive person by any means, but that will bring out a different side of me where it's like I don't give a fuck who you are, how old you are, but you will fucking get it. I promise you that.
And even like
that.
Do you remember that one thing with KK and the whole like dude from English class or whatever?
Oh,
and then we were at your house for like the taco salad wine and dine, and they were like, you guys were sort of talking about it, and I was just like, all right, well, Alex, let me know when I got a beer to hold the second shotgun outside. Like, just shit like that where it's like, because I know how much, like, I knew
that's
how
not
close,
a line you want to cross.
No, it's not a line you want to cross. And it's just, we're not aggressive people, but it's like, dude, it's just don't do it. But I also knew, like, even firsthand, I saw, it's evident how close you guys are, especially like now online. Yeah. But it's like, I saw it really firsthand when we got dropped off at the airport. Yeah. That was like, oh man, really that was different for me too. That was like, I was like, shit. That I think I have chills right now. Actually.
I was this close from breaking down. And I was like, right deep breaths, because for me, I know like my sister and I, Caitlin, we're very tight. But to see her cry the way she did when I first left for Vancouver was honestly heartbreaking for me. I was like, holy fuck, like that, like that was something I didn't expect to come.
I almost fucking shedded here.
Yeah, I was like, even just speaking on it now, like I can feel my eyes getting watery, but like I never expected my sister to react the way she did. And it was just like, it's eye-opening, and it's just like, you know what, like,
yeah. And it just also shapes you, as I feel like it does translate into relationships in a way that you may not actually see as there. Like when it comes to the whole protectiveness, where it's like, that's what I've experienced in my thing, where it's like, I don't know. I just, next question. Yeah.
Ooh. Which one?
Too bad. Oh.
Okay, I'll do that one after. Favorite excursion / activity in Hawaii and Vancouver. Vancouver, that's a no-brainer. Skydiving.
Yeah.
For one reason. It was an like for me, that's my top fear, heights. For Kuhn, he's got a phobia of snakes. But he was also afraid of heights.
Like, I wouldn't go on roller coasters, but like, I wouldn't go. I have a fear of heights, but I have a legit phobia of snakes, so it's not at that same
level. But
I was still scared shitless. Don't get me wrong.
No, me too. So was I. And like, the thing is like when you come into a situation like that, when you've got to do something as big as that was for us, I mean, like for some people that's fucking nothing, but you learn so many things, whether it's just learning how to control your emotions, you know, how to calm yourself down, how to push yourself through this moment. There is so much learning that comes from doing something like that is like, it's something that you can't even put into words. It's like you just learn it yourself, and it's just like, okay, like I can deal with this shit. Like if I can do this, everything else is so minimal.
I think like even from my point of view, was it made me like force myself to see how disciplined I was mentally and how far I could actually take that.
Because we could have easily bitched out.
We could have bitched out. When she FaceTimed, we could have bitched out and been like, nah. But that's why I was like, oh, dude, let's set it as I'll put a snake around my head. Because I want to see if I can actually do that. It's not about, like, obviously we'd love if merch sold out or we go a long drop sold out. But, like, I want to see how far I can actually take myself mentally, because those moments when you're walking into the, like, when you're getting geared up, you're walking into the plane, then you're on the plane, and then when it's about to happen is like, dude, that's a whole, like, you have to really process shit differently.
Like, you do. Like, it's not like anything you can describe, and anybody who has faced their fear head on can relate to that. Like, it's not like, okay, we're just doing this. Like, you have to learn how to, like, compose yourself, how to push yourself through it. And it's just something that's unlike any other experience. It's just like, regardless of what your fear is, it's like that, you like getting through that afterwards, you realize so much shit, you learn so much stuff, and it's just like, it's incredible, and it's just hard to put into words. But
yeah, Eve, on that question, we are hovering around 60%.
Which is phenomenal.
Which is fucking crazy, because we also set numbers that we thought were realistic, but also
they were like a significant change in what we've released before. So it's like, if we released the numbers that we did before, we would have sold out already. We would have. But we were like, okay, let's up this a little bit. Let's push our boundaries. And, you know, like, the support that we've already received has been tremendous. And it's been... It's been great.
Favorite excursion in Hawaii, though?
Okay, this is a toss-up for me.
This is a tough one.
For me, here's my top two. Parasailing.
Shit was fun.
It was so fun, but also at the time, like, I can say for myself, even though we went skydiving, I was still extremely nervous for it, because it's a different experience. You know, there's just a different level of things that could go wrong, and just, like, those thoughts always run through your mind. So, like, doing that, awesome. Number two, the shark cage. Because sharks have been made out to be such an intimidating, scary factor.
Yeah.
And being in the shark cage just puts in that different perspective where it's like, they really don't give a fuck about you, you know? They're just curious, they're checking out. I mean, like, the shit that goes down with, like, shark attacks and whatnot, like, 99% of the time it's because they mistaken you for a seal. You know, if you're surfing, you come off as a seal, that's why they hit. That's not what a shark, like, they are very, like, in their own zone. They're just kind of going around, just curious and shit. And just going in the shark cage, just, it proves that fact, you know? Like, you're in that cage and they could easily come at you and ram at the cage, and they don't. Like, they're just swimming around, they're just doing what they gotta do. They're attracted to what they're attracted to, and it just puts in that whole other perspective that it's like, it's not as scary as what it's made out to be. Like, it's very, when you're in that water and you're looking at those sharks, the first thought, like, yeah, you have that, like, holy fuck, there's a shark there. But after a little bit of time, you're like, this is actually very relaxing.
And it's like,
this is
you're the zoo. We're the ones in the cage. So it's like, they're the ones, like, observing, like, what the fuck is this? And I have the same answer, parasailing in the shark cages. I think ziplining and ATVing tomorrow will be dope, but it's just like, it's not the same. It's cool content, don't get me wrong.
And it's fun to do, but it's like, it's not like that, because, like, even parasailing comes back into heights. You're fucking above that water. Like, you're up there. When you get up there, you're up there. And you feel that wind pushing you around and shit. And it's like, holy fuck, but it's an eye-opening experience, and it's all around a great time, as well as the shark cave. It's eye-opening and a great time.
Next question.
I
feel like there are a couple of other good ones that came in.
Here, you pick one.
Okay. Seeing places we've never been before.
Exactly. Like, you know, you see the states, at least for us, you only see shit about different states in the news, and, like, you know, different, like, posts that you see through other people. But, like, it's one thing. So, like, the biggest thing, somebody can talk shit about a certain state or a certain experience, but it's like you only know it as you've lived through, you know what I mean? So it's like everybody's gonna have a different reaction or a different feel to every situation, every state they've been in, and we want to I mean, like, I can say this for Kuhn too, I'm sure. We want to experience it ourselves before we really come to a conclusion. And it's like, even then, that's just how we've lived it through. Like, you know, like, we only know what we live through because everything that's put out on social media or the news has been cut out to portray a certain narrative, and it's like we want to see it for ourselves and really like experience it before we think of anything
like on that note too. It's like everybody's like, why Alabama to start, why? And it's like, why not? Because there's nobody our age from our hometown that's been to Alabama.
No.
So it's like, for us to just be like, yeah, we're starting in Alabama, it's just like, why not? Like, we want to go see what it's like, because that's a whole world like
we haven't
never experienced. We don't know how life is there. So when people are like, oh, it's boring, there's nothing to do, it's like, we're pretty good at finding fucking adventures out of nothing. So it's like,
we come from a small town. We can make something out of nothing.
Like, I'm sure it's fucking better than
a lot of places. You know? Like,
so it's like, and it's just to us, because everybody, I don't know, like in our hometown, it's just kind of everybody be like, oh, Alabama, or like, oh, that's, you know, why are you going there? It's just like, why the fuck not? Like, why not? Like, let us fucking go.
Yeah, let us experience it. Let us go through our own experience. Like,
and I also think too, like, on the more broad answer with the States is like, we're gonna be able to tap into so much more. Like, if you guys think, we've gone to Vancouver, Whistler,
Hawaii,
and this is where we're at. Like, imagine when we spend 4 months dedicated to just going and like traveling and adventures. It's like, that's gonna elevate us, and we understand also how TikTok works when you go to new places and you like it's just, I don't know, I think that's what we're looking forward to the most.
And on another note, it's like, you know, 80% of the like of our supporters are from the States, so it's like we can also we can start to relate with you guys on different fronts where it's like, okay, like, we understand that, whereas for now it's just like, it's only hearsay, you know what I mean? And I'm not down talking anything that anybody has said, but I'm just saying, like, until we experience it for ourselves, we don't truly understand, we don't really know. And once we truly understand it, then it's like, okay, now we have a good grasp of the situation. And I mean, like,
and if you guys think we're going there without a plan or an itinerary, like, you're heavily mistaken. We do run with shit on the fly, but it's like, we have a general idea
of where we're going.
Notch.
Fuck!
You gotta drink. But yeah, I would say that fucking wraps it up for what we're excited for. And to honestly probably, like, to meet you guys too.
Yeah, like Nashville is gonna be an experience in itself. That's gonna be like no other. Like, we're gonna have a chance to actually see the faces, hear the voices behind all of these accounts, behind you guys, which is honestly, I'm super excited for, because it's like, I've you know, like, we can communicate all we want over social media, but when you're face to face in person, that's a whole different interaction. That's a whole different kind of bonding experience where it's like, you know, like, and it's just a different, it's a horse of its own color.
And like, to also go see what you guys are doing. Like, for example, we're literally going to New York to go see Renata's restaurant. We're booking 3 days in like early February to go see that. Because it's like, I follow her on Instagram, dude. I like all of the pictures from a bakery, and it's like, we want to do that with whatever you guys got going on.
Like, so we want to build more of that personal connection rather than just like, you know, like, we're here, you're there. You know what I mean? We want to build that personal connection where it's like we can relate on that front.
Because it's also just corny if it's like you're naive to that fucking, you know, like, if you just ignore that shit.
Oh yeah, like, it's just a whole different story.
Next question.
What advice would you give to your younger self? Just fucking do it. Stop overthinking shit. Because when I was younger, I was super shy, super in my own, like, I was in my own shell. Like, I was like, it was very rare for me to leave my comfort zone, and that's why it took me so long to get to the point to where I'm at now. Once I got older and realized, okay, like, you know, let's push the boundaries, let's step out of that comfort zone. That's where the most growth happens, and that's when you learn the most shit. If you're just sitting there always in your comfort zone, you're never gonna your mindset's never gonna change. It'll never change. You'll always be stuck in that same attitude that you've been in, and it's just like, break free of that. Just fucking do it. Just do it.
Yeah,
because it sounds like cliche to say, but it's like, it's literally as easy as that. No matter what the risk is, just do it.
Yeah,
like it's gonna benefit you in one way or the other. So it's like, just fucking do it.
Yeah, I would say, like, from my angle or perspective, it would just be, don't be your own worst villain.
That's
like,
a good one. That's a very
don't
good one.
like, obviously everybody has those voices in their head that tell them, like, subconsciously that you're doing this wrong or yada yada yada, but it's like, just stay true to yourself. And obviously it takes a while for you to figure out yourself, which means just don't be afraid to make mistakes. And that's kind of one thing I put into practice really early, and I just didn't give a shit what other people thought.
Well, I was the same way.
And you were the same way, and it was just like,